It's about romance on the rails.
I can't go to your room.
I'll leave the door open. How did you find my bunk?
That was very naughty.
Would a true gentleman steal a kiss from a lady?
Is that an invitation?
Yes.
It's a whistle-stop tour to trouble on Homefront. Thursday.
You're watching Channel 5.
Hear how it flows off the forked tongue of Mr. Don Rickles.
I've never met an ape.
Anyway, never met him. Hallelujah! Get the black chick to back it up.
Before you go, I want to say something. I liked you the best, I swear to God. She did that. She's lonely. But take care of yourself.
You two take care, and I'm glad the hair thing did well.
You want to know something? What? I can't believe that you're Peter Pan. Now, I'll tell you this.
I was on that stage when you socked Robin Williams that hard. Billy told us to duck, but Robin didn't listen. Did you know you'd hit him that hard?
I planned that. In fact, I wanted to drop him. But, you know, he wasn't in close range, you know, and he is, you know, he's got quite a bit of hair on him.
Right,
you know.
right.
So I wanted to give him a banana and a zoo. But I figured, and you were in the middle, and I didn't want to offend the blacks, because
yes.
You have enough trouble, and I don't want to see my house burn.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
The Whoopi Goldberg Show is brought to you by AT&T. More ways to help you stay in touch.
You've been hearing a lot of noise about long distance. And while no one takes you to more places than AT&T, did you know this? Place for place, Europe, Asia, South America, everywhere, we give you competitive prices. In fact, the difference between AT&T and other major long-distance companies is no more than a penny. So now that price isn't the real issue, what should you think about? Remember service, quality? Look at the big picture.
So you've been to Greece before? Do you think it ever snows?
Today, beautiful means believable. That's the natural look of CoverGirl Nikki Taylor. Her makeup, CoverGirl Clean Makeup. Honest coverage with clean Noxzema ingredients. So good to your skin. Clean makeup, so fresh, so true, it's naturally you. Today, there's no faking it. Your look is clean. Perfect. Clean makeup, so fresh, so true, it's naturally you. CoverGirl, redefining beautiful.
It's wonderful. It actually protects better than a thick maxi.
It's always Ultra Plus with dry weave.
Unlike other leading maxis, its dry weave top sheet helps keep the surface cleaner and drier. And even with twice as much liquid, its special lock-away core helps trap wetness better than most pads. 5 times thicker. I found what I like. I won't use anything else.
Always Ultra Plus with dry weave. It's not just thinner, it's cleaner and drier.
Nighttime backache? Try Momentum Muscular Backache Formula. Momentum has a maximum strain pain reliever to help relieve your backache so you can sleep.
My back feels great, and I slept like a log.
Momentum Muscular Backache Formula.
Here's a great idea from Shake and Bake. It's hot, it's spicy, it's delicious. Shake and Bake hot and spicy chicken will grab your whole family. Why fry? Shake and Bake.
Now, Don, I'm sitting here with Don Rickles. Now, somebody told me that you were a shy kid. That's hard to believe. Were you shy and self-conscious?
Well, yeah. Well, see, my mother, rest her soul, she was the kind of woman, you know, when you lived in New York all my life, most of my life, and, you know, she was the type of person on the bus or the subway would say, "This is our street, we're getting off." And I would hide under the seat and go, "Give me a break, Ma, don't talk so loud." She said, "You're so self-conscious, you got to stop acting like that." But I think most actors and actresses, I can't speak for you, Whoopi, but I think most of us, because we're on the stage and outgoing, when we were kids, were very inhibited. And I was kind of inhibited, you know.
Yeah.
My mother was sort of a Jewish General Patton. And, you know, she got up in the morning with a helmet and a sword and gave orders. And I went, "Give me a break, Mom, give me a break." I loved her dearly, but, you know, she was a very strong woman. And if it wasn't for her, I probably still would. I was the guy at the dance, you know. Everybody else got the girl.
Right.
And I wound up in the corner with 14 beautiful girls telling jokes, but no action. And I went home at night with the covers over my head humming a lot.
So you didn't get any, and no play? You would, but was that a conscious choice to be funny rather than try to be?
Well, it was like, you know, to cover up my insecurities. I would always, you know, make fun of people. That's how it all started. You know, I'd go to a dance and say, you know, I saw the dress, you know, ridiculous, get rid of it, you know, whatever.
Right.
And all those things started to become part of my personality. And that was a cover-up because I wasn't, you know, too much with the, I didn't have the confidence when it came to the girls. In fact, I was 38 years old before I got married. Yeah, you haven't seen her, my wife. Anyway, but she's very beautiful. She's over the fireplace a lot. But now that's a joke. That joke could cost me.
Yes, it could. Dearly.
Like all the jewelry goes back in the vault without a dime from me. Anyway, so now she's a great lady and very pretty. But that tells you something. I was 38 before I got married. I never married before.
Are you a romantic kind of guy?
Yeah, I sit in the house and say, "What time's dinner?" No, I'm a romantic kind of guy in a different way. Not in the sense of maybe strolling in the park holding hands, but I do little sentimental things, you know. And my wife does talk like that. She said, we went on a trip. We went to Hong Kong and Singapore. By the way, I loved it there because I thought I was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Everybody was, you know, little Chinese dwarfs running around, you know. So we went on this trip together, and we really spent some, what I call good time together, you know, and we do talk a lot, and that's our romance. We're good friends.
Yeah.
You know.
When you realize that you had this gift, I don't want to call it insult, because that's not really what it is.
Thank you. So many people over the years, I could never shake that word. Go on, guess.
When you discovered the gift and it took off, what kind of ride was that for you?
Well, it was quite a ride because by today's standards, I could probably be the entertainer at the Vatican. I mean, from what you hear for some of these younger people. And I say, my answer to that is, what they say, what do you think of the younger people with what they say on the stage? And I say, hey, listen, if you last 30 years or more as I have, and I've been very fortunate, a lot of my colleagues are not there anymore. And I said, if you last that long, you're doing something right. So I always used to say, it's not an insult when I pick on people. It's a rib. It's making fun of yourself, the world, things around you, without being cruel. And I think I've been blessed with the fine line, how far you can go with somebody. You know, I mean, I look at your hair. It's ridiculous. But that doesn't mean I'm not being cruel. You know, you can tell by my face, you know, although your reaction has me a little upset. But that's not the point, you know. You got to snap out of it, Whoopi. You got to snap out of it. But it's the idea of how far you can go and what's in good taste. And I found myself that I always know the limit of, I can look at a person's eyes, 9 out of 10 will say, and know, hey, that's enough. You had enough with that.
You're Spanish, right, my darling? Are you Spanish? Mexican? Let me see your papers. Anyway, now what is your heritage? Italian? What, that's better? I'll tell you this. I'll make you and your husband feel at home. No, we need the Italian people so the Jews have ice. I'll tell you this, though. Are you Chinese? Well, get your eyes fixed. I'll tell you this.
Is there anybody you don't mess with?
Well, I tell you, I never pick on anybody that has a problem physically. That's about it.
Is the Pope safe from you?
Well, there was a Hasidic Jew that came to see my show in the Golden Nugget just recently. Young fella, sat right in the front with a yarmulke on, you know, that is the hat the Pope borrows from us. And he sat right in the front, and I said, the absolute wonderful Jew, I said, and the Vatican needs us. Of course, they can't get the hats. We have a deal with them with the hats. So we sell the hats, and the Pope's nice to us.
Mother Teresa. Could you mess
Lovely
with her?
woman. No, well, lovely woman. I don't think she'd come to my show. I don't think you'd see Mother Teresa in front of round of vodka. I don't think you'd see that. A round of Band-Aids and some physicians.
Pass the gauze.
Yeah, right. That was a good one. You got a good one.
I got a good one.
I got to mark that down.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whoopi jumps in with some humor as I'm talking to myself for 20 minutes.
That's it. You get excited or have gotten excited about some of the people you've met in your life. I do too. I get, you know, because it's, because it's great. You're from Brooklyn, I'm from Manhattan. We're better, we know this. But when you think of, you missed that, well, that's okay.
Because you're not that interesting.
I know, baby. I know.
This is a great show. Is this going to be on? Okay, good.
Clark Gable?
Oh, yeah, he was great. Clark Gable, I got him broads. He couldn't handle it. I took care of all of those. But he was a charming man. You know, in those days, I have a story about that. When you think about Clark Gable and Gary Cooper, and go down the line of the Charlton Hestons, the Gregory Pecks, all those great actors, and even Frank, well, that's a separate story. But but I must tell you that, like Clark Gable was the kind of guy you said in the film. They said, okay, Clark, my first picture was Run Silent, Run Deep. They said, okay, Clark, Rickles, you walk in and you say to him, he's a captain of a submarine, say, the men are in trouble, whatever the lines were. And he'll answer you. And I'd say, sir, and I don't want to do impressions now, but I will. Right. And he turned around and he said, I said, sir, the men are in trouble. Should we take the submarine down? He said, take the submarine down 1,000 feet, dive. Fire one, fire two. Then they'd go, cut, that's a print. Then I'd say, Clark, you going to lunch? Why do we go to lunch? Let's all go to lunch, we'll have a good time. It was the same guy. Yeah. So the idea was, when you told them to act angry, they went, I'm angry. When you told them to act happy, they went, I'm happy. If you told them to act sad, gee, I'm sad. It was the same people. Yeah. Today, it's, 20 minutes, Dustin Hoffman in the corner, Robert Loggia, Charlie. Charlie. Roll him, Charlie. And I say, hurry up. Lunch. Lunch is coming up. In other words, what a lot of actors do today, they get themselves into a thing, which is fine. I mean, there's some great actors. I'm not saying it's not so, but I just say, if you say, hey, act, if I'm supposed to be sad, I'll act sad.
Yeah. Don Rickles, we'll be right back.
It's Mako's 20th anniversary. After 20 years, 7 million cars, and 5 presidents, what's next? A party. Come on in and celebrate Mako's 20th anniversary. The Big 2-0 with big savings during our 2020 anniversary sale. Right now, we're taking 20% off all Mako paint services and 20% off cosmetic body labor. The savings are everywhere. Call or come on in and save twice during Mako's 2020 anniversary sale. If that showroom shine is your bottom line, get Mako.
Talk to a girl who loves to tan as much as she loves her man. Call 1-900-976-1131 and talk live to one of the girls of the Big West. Once you've talked to her, you'll never want to settle for an ordinary girl again. That's 1-900-976-1131. It's only $3.99 per minute, and you must be an adult.
The Iowa Homeless Youth Center, a shelter within our reach, reaching the homeless. Since 1985, the Iowa Homeless Youth Center in Des Moines has been reaching out to the young, the homeless, the runaways. With trained staff people, one of the ways the center reaches out is with the mobile outreach van. And in 1991 alone, more than 300 kids on the street were helped. The Iowa Homeless Youth Center, it is within our reach.
From traditional to contemporary posters and prints, find it all at Malibu Gallery. For high-quality custom framing in a week to 10 days, for huge selection and lower prices, come to Malibu Gallery. Sophisticated, bold, undeniably beautiful. For home, and business consultation. For all of this and so much more, come to Malibu Gallery.
The Variety Club and Iowa Broadcasters Association present the Rockin' Prevention Tour across Iowa, an innovative substance abuse prevention program for young people grades kindergarten through 8. Certified counselor and musician Pat McManus's popular program is in great demand, designed as a booster for your own school's prevention efforts, using music as a teaching tool to reach kids in their world. Find out how Rockin' Prevention can help your students and community. Call 515-255-0635.
Fly American Airlines. American offers daily nonstop service from 7 U.S. gateways to 13 European cities, including Berlin. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
I want to go back to some other names, because this is fun for me. Mr. Sinatra?
Well, Frank is wonderful. He really is. In fact, I was over his house the other day, and he did a wonderful thing. I said something that wasn't funny, and he slapped my wife. But it relaxed us all. But no, he's a great... I always give him the gangster image, you know. He always says, stop already with the gang, which is not so. But I go back with him so many years. It started in Florida. And it's the old story with Frank Sinatra. He came into a place called Murray Franklin's at that time, which was a little tiny nightclub. And he came in, and he brought a lot of people. In those days, Peggy Lee and what have you. And then he saw me out here in California. But the idea was, when Sinatra laughed, if he went, ha, 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 all the people went with him. It's funny. So whenever Frank laughed, they laughed.
Right.
But he was very influential in bringing people to see me.
Right.
And he's been a great friend, he and his wife Barbara, to my wife and I. He really is. And whenever whenever he's over my house, we play Sinatra records, and it starts to get on my nerves, but I keep playing it, because, otherwise I don't start my car.
And Bob... Bob Newhart?
Yeah. Anyway, Bob Newhart.
The white lady wrote it. I didn't know. I don't know you from...
Bob Newhart. Now, he's a fun guy. He's the type of guy that when we go on trips, I watch flies die on his face. He doesn't like that. He always says, why do you always put me down? And I don't. I love the guy dearly. Yeah. And it's interesting, because we're two guys that came from two different societies. He's from Chicago, very educated guy. I came from the street. I had trouble with, listening to the bell when it came to go to a different class.
Right.
But he is a very bright man, and we became friends. And I always say, and I say it on the stage, the wives, wives get along, and his wife, Jen, and my wife, Barbara, are very close. And that made Bob and I become great friends. Yeah. But we both have the same values, And he's very successful, as you know. Now he has a third television show, which does bother me. I'm not jealous, but I do drive by his house and throw a rock once in a while, But his career is going great, and we do travel together and get along great.
Yeah. Now, do you ever think about the influence that you've had on the younger folks? Are you surprised when you come to something like Comic Relief and everyone is just like...
Well, I really, speaking of that, Whoopi, I was delighted that I was there with you and Billy and Robin. I really was. And I noticed everybody called me sir, so I started to sit down in the chair and spit up so they'd come and bring medication for me or something. But everybody looked at me and said, my father's uncle's cousin, who is now 89, saw you. Thinks you're a riot. And I look over, and there's a guy in a chair in a green room going, hey, hey, hey. And he's one of my best fans. Hey, hey. I do great old men. Hey, hey. Anyway, so I have all these people, these youngsters that were like talking to me, as you said, a little bit in awe. Mm-hmm. And I find that very flattering, because I do believe in my heart that I'm one of a kind. I mean, I don't know of anybody in this industry that lasted or has gone as far as I have doing what I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the secret for all of us.
Did you ever get those days out? Sid Caesar wrote this great book. And one of the things that stuck in my head, because it hadn't been something I thought about really, but did it ever gnaw at you that one day you'd wake up and maybe you somehow wouldn't be able to do what you do? Did that ever float around in your head?
Not that. I've woken up many a day and said, I don't have a job. I've thought a lot of times, gee, I'll wake up and tomorrow there'll be no job there. And especially as, you know, as you get up there in a few years, you say, oh, gee, will they still want me? Will they still like me? I never feel that I'll lose it on the stage. I always feel when I get out there, it's so funny. So how many times we sat in the dressing room and I felt like, oh, the worst. And I said, I'm going to do the worst show in the world. And it's so I come out and I think I'm a riot. And it turns out the audience responds great. And there are nights that I'm way up, you know, I'm really feeling and I go out there and it's a little bit tougher. But I find that I never feel that I'm losing it. I always am concerned about, will it go on forever, or will it go on when I can walk away? Right now, you know, we have a big home. In fact, one of our servants died walking to the main gate. And so we have a tremendous home. Just take your time. This will run into Tuesday.
Yeah. I have to segue. This is called the segue.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. When you talk about different ethnic groups, I want to throw this, and again, this comes from the... If I say to you, there's a white lady with a 44-inch bust and no butt, what springs to mind?
She needs an operation.
There's an Italian black man in the middle of the audience with a huge mustache sitting with a small poodle.
I think the mob would kill him.
That's pretty good, Don.
Well, hey, you don't find black guys in the mafia, no. You find them bringing sandwiches to the mafia.
Why is that?
Well, because a black guy can't handle it. He wants to do the robbery, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Italian guys plan it out.
Right.
Black guy right in front of the cop goes, "What's this, mother?" Bang! You know, Italian guy goes, "Carmine, Tuesday night in back of the house." There's a difference. That's why the blacks don't get a chance. That's why they're all singers. I mean, I get nervous when I get on an airplane and I see a black pilot sitting in the cockpit going, switch on, switch off, switch on, you know. And then you run down the runway and you don't take off. You're just running down the runway, you know. So black people do have problems, but we all do. Jewish people don't have problems because when we have a problem, we have cash.
So there is some line to being Jewish.
You got to believe in what you are and say, hey, God said, I'm the guy, you're a Jew, and be happy with it. And I'm certainly happy with it, you know. And now after that, I would like a donation.
In order to get that donation, I've got to talk about this next product coming up. We'll be right back.
Do whatever you want.
You gotta.
6 months ago, I'm at the dentist, not feeling overly anxious when I heard that unforgettable word, cavities. Doctor, I said, is there any hope?
Mandy, he said, you gotta brush twice a day the right way.
If your child brushes every day for 6 months with Crest, the dentist's choice, their next checkup will be great. And we're so sure you'll be satisfied, we'll give you a money-back guarantee.
So I brushed with Crest, and I'm sitting pretty.
Crest, great checkups in 6 months, guaranteed.
Ain't life grand? Look, my greatest softness creation ever. Come on and see. New Snuggle Singles. Singles pop out individually. Pop them in. A little whole world of softness begins.
New Snuggle Singles. Simple, single,
and soft.
What makes the Budget Gourmet entrees so different?
Things that make you go.
It's a bold splash, a sweet sauté. It's all this and more for under $2. It's budget, it's gourmet, it's both.
I couldn't get this tune out of my head till I heard these flowers, then a heartbeat, and the sound of mushrooms sprouting. It was raining cats and dogs in harmony. Then airplanes hit the high notes. Even the stars came out to play. Hey, I think I just wrote a song.
Mario Paint. Draw and make music. Only on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Save on candy for the holidays at Walgreens. Choose Whitman's boxed candies, chocolate-covered cherries, almond clusters, and more. A $2.95 value, just $1.99. The 21-ounce bag of Werther's Original Butter Candies, a $4.88 value, just $3.99.
And for coughs and sore throats, the bonus bag of Robitussin cough drops gives you 20% more free. Now just 99 cents. Save on everything for the holidays at Walgreens.
Preparing for your baby is a wonderful experience. Good nutrition, exercise, and a doctor's care are part of those great beginnings. Sound nutritional advice includes consuming an extra 300 calories per day, including 4 servings from the milk group. Milk group foods are excellent sources of calcium, which helps form your baby's bones while maintaining your bones. The Dairy Council's Great Beginnings calendar is filled with nutritional tips for mothers-to-be. Call us to find out about it.
Heavyweight boxing champion Evander Holyfield lets his guard down.
The Remington microscreen shaves as close as a blade or your money back. It's quick, smooth, comfortable, a great value. That's Remington.
Stetson Cologne, the great masculine scent that's easy to wear and hard for a woman to resist. Stetson fits. For perms only, hair care, professionally formulated to maintain and style permed, colored, and chemically treated hair. Try for perms only.
I want to talk a little bit about Innocent Blood, which is the movie you just finished. What is that?
Well, it stars this Anne Parriot from La Femme Nikita. She's a beautiful actress, a French actress, her first American film. Robert Loggia, who's just a brilliant artist, he really is. Very serious guy. We had a lot of fun. I made him laugh, so that was an accomplishment. And Anthony LaPaglia, who I think will be the new Mel Gibson. He's a very talented guy. And yours truly. And I play a sleazy lawyer for the mob in this picture. And Landis made sure that I didn't play it for comedy. I played it as honest as I could to make it come out funny. Because, you know, when comics on the screen, sometimes there's a tendency to go back to your nightclub kind of thing. And it's nothing like that. And I'm very happy about it. And I haven't done a film in some time, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll do more. But I think it's a fun picture. It's, you know, it's vampires and all that stuff, you know, and some people will find it very entertaining. Other people will find it entertaining but kind of weird. And it's getting away from reality. That's pretty much what it is. I mean, it's not Prince of Tides. For whatever that means, you know, because Prince of Tides, it's very serious.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came. I love the fact that you've been around 30 years. May I say that I hope that in 30 years that we meet in another space on somebody else's show.
Yeah, and just to let you know, with all the years I've known you, but not known you really on a one-on-one level, and I must say you're a delightful lady and a big talent, and I think you deserve things because I hear so much good you do for other people. That's delightful. You don't hear about that too often, and you don't walk around with a flag telling everybody you do it, but bless your heart, and may God be good to you and yours.
Thanks. And yours too. Good night.
Natural disasters aren't very selective about where they hit. They can strike any community at any time, and they often show up without warning and never discriminate by age, race, or gender. And their devastation is usually followed by something else: the immediate help of the Salvation Army. By providing food, shelter, and clothing without discrimination, the Salvation Army has helped thousands of natural disaster victims rebuild their lives. With your help, we're making a world of difference.
I'm Lawton Childs, Governor of Florida. Our nation has witnessed one of the worst natural disasters in our history. Hurricane Andrew has devastated South Florida.